Well, it's Saturday night. Voice of the composer here. On board. Thought I'd turn on the camera and just do a second video today. Did one earlier called Robinson Crusoe World Premiere. Go back and check that video out. In that video, I share the opening bars of the piece I just completed. I've still got to do some corrections to it. That's Robinson Crusoe Symphonic Poem for String Quartet. Hope you enjoy the video. And then I did some videos earlier this week about the Confederate flag, my views on that. As an artist, a composer, somebody who believes in free expression, freedom to trade what I produce, limited government, personal freedom. I really think those values can be found in this flag. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but just so you know, I don't support the KKK and I don't support white supremacy, and that was never the purpose of this flag. In fact, the KKK didn't come about till 1865. This flag was designed in 1860. 5 years before the KKK. And like I mentioned in a previous video where I just kind of talked about different Civil War facts regarding the Confederacy, I pointed out that people have this notion that somehow all these different events happen at once and they went in a blender and somebody turned the on button or pressed the on button. That's not what happened at all. And nothing happens in a vacuum, folks. So but if you do enjoy this video here, please click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes, or leave comments below. Thank you for supporting me. If you're new to the series, or if you've been with me for a while, I never know who my audience is out there, and that's part of the fun of doing these videos. And I have to say, honestly, when I started this thing, it was just me, a cell phone or a smartphone, and just this crazy idea to start a channel about some guy who's an amateur composer, writing music as an amateur composer, and just using the raw materials. That's it, and it just for me it took off, and it's taken me in places in directions that I never thought possible, and it's been a real blast and a real treat to bring you these videos, and I just wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me, and it's been a lot of fun. It really has. And sometimes you have these nights where you're like, hey, I think I'll just turn on the camera and just do a YouTube video for the hell of it, which is the case tonight because I'm bored. Saturday night I'm watching some sci-fi on TV, some of the old sci-fi shows like Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek. Later on I'll be watching The Invaders. And shout out to all you Invaders fans. We're talking about the original Invaders. There was a remake, I think, in '95, if I'm not mistaken, with Scott Bakula. But this is the original, the Quinn Martin production from 1967. That show, surprisingly, there's a huge following for it, but that show only lasted a year. And the reason for that is because ABC back in the day had this bad habit of dropping all these shows. Even though they had a good market share. I don't know. I guess they figured that in the long term, people wouldn't be interested in them. But that's the story behind that. So like I said, I'm just kind of rambling tonight. But once again, thank you for supporting the series. And if I did mention it, click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes, or leave comments below. Sitting here enjoying my pipe and some coffee and just relaxing. It's snowing outside. I don't know if it will stick tonight, but so getting back to what I was talking about, though, I honestly, I'm really fascinated by how all these cult groups form, and what their thinking is, because it's a completely different world. It's like they live in another dimension, and it's just not based in reality. So it was funny when I was watching this documentary. It was like he's a truck driver by day, but grand wizard by night. I'm thinking to myself, oh, give me a break. So once again, to all you white supremacists and KKK members out there, just cut it out. You're not furthering your cause. You're not anything special, and you don't scare me, okay? And I'm white, and even if I were black, you wouldn't scare me, okay? Because you guys are a bunch of clowns. What is this business about? What is the purpose of burning a cross on a lawn? Someone please explain that to me. Would you please explain that to me? I don't get the logic. Now I've got a story. I was just kind of walking around the house, and this came to me. I don't know. You ever had that where something happens like when you're a teenager, and it's some small event, and you completely forget about it, and then 20 years later you remember it, and then for some reason it really sticks with you. Well, that's what happened with this. Me and a good friend of mine went to a guy's house. First time I met him. And I guess we went into his living room or den or something, and sure enough, there was a picture. I guess his dad was a KKK member. I'll tell you honestly, I didn't feel very comfortable in there, so I got out of there. And if I remember correctly, I did see maybe a Confederate flag in there, but the KKK and groups like that, what they'll do, and the white supremacists, they'll take the flag and they'll deface it. They'll put lettering on it, or they'll put their emblem on it, so it is not this flag here, and that's where people get confused between the two. And so for anybody out there that had to put up with that, you know what? From the bottom of my heart, I'm truly sorry for that. There was no reason for that to happen, none whatsoever. When the KKK started, it originally was just a men's club, like a fraternal order for men in the South. And that was from 1865, 1869. They disbanded. I talked about this in another video, but they disbanded in 1869. And then you had this far out political cult-like group that had these really, really just their ideas were way out there, and they wanted to revive the Klan and turn it into their own image, so to speak. So the Klan from the 1870s to the 1920s, what have you, that's the one that people are most familiar with, but they don't know that story about how it originally was started. So once again, 1865, 1869. Go back and check that. That's something I didn't know. I researched that. And guys, I'm a straight shooter. When I find this stuff out, if it's something interesting I want to share with you, I will definitely share that with you, and I'm not going to lie to you about it. Okay, trust me. So like I said, I'm just talking tonight. I mean, just that's my views on it. I do support this flag. I also support the American flag. But I really digging through the history of what happened with the Confederacy and the Civil War, in learning some of the things. For example, I didn't know there were black slave owners in the South. It would have never occurred to me that was possible, but it was because of the class structure back then. I also talked about that in a previous video. You learn a lot of these things. There's so many layers to that whole situation, and what led up to the Civil War, and there are things going on too in the North, and the North. No one wants to talk about the slavery in the North, but it did exist, and it existed even during the Emancipation Proclamation. Can you believe that? I mean, I'm so glad we don't live in that time period. So I don't want to make this a video completely about talking about the Confederate flag, because we can go down that road, and that would take hours. I mean, hours. Literally would take hours to talk about that. But that's, but yes, I do support this flag, and because I've done the history, I've dug into it. And like I said, you have these fringe groups that were committing, but you have to remember something too. You also have media. We were living in a time, and we were living in a time then of media. So a lot of these events that were happening, we're looking back thinking, my God. But reading a lot of this, a lot of these events were most of them were isolated incidents. Okay. And yes, you have the civil rights movement, and that's right, which I fully support. And one of these days, I would absolutely love to go to the Moraine Motel, because the Moraine Motel it's a three for me, because I love Googie architecture. I don't know if you know this, but I love something called Googie architecture. Look it up. It's really fascinating. Googie architecture was like mid-20th century, and it was designed to get people to, it was like roadside attractions and things with these really cool geometric designs, somewhat space age. Well, the Lorraine Motel is an excellent example of that. Of course, we know that's where MLK unfortunately was assassinated, but it's an excellent example of Googie architecture. And not only that, we know that that event, the event with MLK, but a lot of big stars stayed at that motel back in the day, like Aretha Franklin, Cab Calloway. I think the song Waiting for the Midnight Hour, I think that was written at that motel, if I'm not mistaken. So one of these days, if I get the money to, I would love to go to the Lorraine Motel. And just fascinating to see that, wow, this is where these events happen. But yeah, a lot of minority performers stayed at that motel. I mean, I'm thinking these are we're talking big names: Aretha Franklin, Cab Calloway, and there was a few others. I think Nat King Cole may have stayed there. So it just fascinates me, and I love a lot of those songs from that area. Another artist I found recently, I got to share this, Gloria Lynn. She had an album called Live at the Thunderbird, if anybody, somebody posted that here on YouTube, whoever posted on YouTube, thank you for posting that. Those songs are just fantastic. Like there's Started Something Big, Record Company Blues. I mean, just some good songs, and she's a good singer. I don't know if she's still alive or not. I have to look that up. But Gloria Lynn, Live at the Thunderbird. Whoever posted that, thank you. And there's that video channel, I can't remember the name, but for the life of me, should be getting some more views. So go out there and check that out. She's a really, really good singer. And that was all recorded live at the Thunderbird. So, yeah, just like I said, I'm rambling tonight, just talking. And I really am so glad to be doing this series. And I feel that if I'm not honest and frank with my audience, it's like lying to my audience, and I don't want to do that. With me, what you see is what you get. What you hear on a video, this is how I am in real life. Okay, this is not, I don't try to pretend. I don't believe in that. To me, be honest with people, be real, and people respect you for that. Okay, so my advice, I guess, in the last part of this video tonight is be nice to each other. Go out there and write your music as amateur composers. Have fun with it, and just remember that even through this COVID-19 scare, that life will go on. We're going to get through this. This has given me a real opportunity. This is real opportunity for you YouTubers out there to ramp up your videos. Whatever you're doing, working on your projects, and definitely writing your music. To be disciplined to do that. It's really important because it's really easy to. When the weather's bad outside and people have their hours reduced at work, it's really easy to just want to lie in bed all day. And the other day I was thinking about that. I got to get up. I got to do something. I kind of got cabin fever with having to, with this COVID-19 thing, where I haven't been going out much because of this. Not that I'm scared of this COVID-19 thing, but it's just, people aren't working as many hours now, and you go out there and the streets are pretty much empty. I mean, feels like the holidays almost. It's weird, but yeah, I figured. Well, like I said the other day, I just couldn't lie in bed and do nothing. I had to get up and do something. So my advice is, during this time, if you've got your hours reduced at work or whatever, really start ramping up on your YouTube videos and start ramping up on your music and start discovering new projects. I love urban exploration and that sort of thing, and love history and watching documentaries. Like I said, watching a documentary about the formation of this group or that group, and fascinates me how they come about. So this is just an honest talk with my audience. Once again, thank you for supporting me, and I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I'm glad I had this chance to come on here and just do an honest, frank talk with you, just be myself, and I will catch you guys next time. So please click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes, or leave comments below. And like I said, I'm sorry if it seems like I was rambling tonight, but I was bored, figured turn on the camera, and we just have fun tonight. Wherever it went in this video is where it went. So thank you so much for being a part of Voice of the Composer, and I will catch you next time. Peace out, everybody.